Hi, I'm Fungai Chiwarira, and I'm the analytics manager at Kayomi Marketing. And this is the first video in the analytics video series. Okay, I'm sure most of you are aware that Google has announced that they will be sunsetting Universal Analytics. That will be in July 2023. That's for the standard users, the free users. And then on the 1st of October in 2023, this will be for GA360 users. So essentially, there's just a 3-month difference as far as when Google will stop processing it. So yeah, July for the standard user and then October for the 360 user. Universal Analytics properties will stop processing hits from the above dates that I've just mentioned. And Google will store our data for probably maybe another 6 months. Let's just say up until the end of 2023. They haven't really given an exact date as to when they'll, when you stop having access to that data in UA, right? So it kind of left us with the question, how does this impact your data? I mean, you've been collecting data for decades, some for years, but long and short of it is, what is going to happen to that data? How are you going to access that data? What tool are you going to be using going forward? So the tools are quite different. I mean, essentially the long and short of it is they are meant to be tracking your website interactions, traffic to your site, your marketing campaigns, all your marketing efforts essentially, right? So now with GA4 out and Universal Analytics on the way out, what we need to do now is to implement GA4 alongside your current implementation of Universal Analytics. That way, it helps start building historical data, because come July 2023, you won't have any access to the Universal Analytics data. It will stop processing it. So then you need something to start comparing your marketing efforts from this year, right? So essentially what you need to do is run GA4 alongside Universal Analytics, and that's where Kayomi comes in. If you are stuck or don't know where to go from there, just hit us up. We can assist in helping set up GA4, or we can actually set it up for you, right? The thing is, Google hasn't actually said exactly what they will do or how long they're giving users to download their data. But long and short of it is, every client who's using the current GA setup will need to export their data. So you can export it as a CSV, as an Excel, or you can export it as Google Sheets, right? So, and then you can keep this in a database, Google Sheets, you name it. You'll have to work with tools that work for you. But long and short of it is, towards mid next year, you should not start looking at exporting your data. That way you'll still have all your data from previously, but at least you'll have GA4 now as your new source of truth. So yes, I would urge all our clients and every GA users out there to start planning as far as a migration or data exports are concerned, right? Google introduced GA4 web and app tracking around 2016. The idea was to unify the tracking. So GA Universal was more like session-based, right? As opposed to GA4, which is event-based. So the two systems couldn't talk to each other. That's why Google introduced web and app. It was a way to track both website visitors as well as app visitors and have one uniform view. That brought about GA4, right? And then one of the biggest things as well was in this day and age that we're living, there is so much talk of user privacy, and that's one of the things that pushed Google to create GA4. It also it's essentially there to help with, helping clients manage their user preferences as far as being tracked is concerned and all that. So GA4 has the user's interest at heart. There's so many ways we can actually kind of respect the user's privacy. There are in-product options that is within the GA4 interface itself, that you can use to make sure that data is being collected legally and within the frameworks of the law or within the user's consent statuses or preferences. Then there's also tag-based controls. This would be done in your tag management system like GTM4 as an example. You can actually set up how you want users' data to be collected there. If you want to redact private or PII, essentially, personally identifiable information, you could do that directly from the tag management system. So yeah, and some of these include IP anonymization. So this is one of the things that you can actually do with GA4. You can remove IP addresses, which is something that you couldn't previously do quite easily with the Universal Analytics setup, right? And then another thing that also came along with GA4 is consent mode. I mean, consent mode was introduced more or less the same time as GA4, and you can use consent mode with current Universal setup, but it works a lot better and more in conjunction with GA4. You use this to essentially, I'm sure you've seen cookie policies or cookie banners on websites that you visit, your take-a-lots and what have you. User uses that to make their choices as far as whether they want to be tracked or not, or what sort of cookies can be set on their devices and all that. So long and short of it is, cookie consent is here to stay, especially in this day and age of GDPR, CCPA. It is kind of a buzzword at the moment. So GA4 kind of helps to address all those concerns. And then the other thing is GA4 used alongside server-side tagging. So I'm sure currently all our tags are running off our browsers, right? But now with server-side tagging, that is used on a client's private server. So with that, it helps with privacy. What happens is the information that's collected on your site is actually sent to the server that you control, and then from there you kind of choose the sort of information that gets sent to third parties, the likes of Facebook, Google, So essentially you've got more control over the data that you are sending out there. Universal Analytics it's been the go-to tool for years now, but because of the rise of apps, if you look at your website, you might be surprised to find that 70% or 80% of your traffic is actually coming in through mobile. So in the rise of apps, that brought about the need for seeing a combined user experience. So a user will come to your site on a website, and then the next time they'll come to you from an app. So then we kind of needed a way to unify that, and GA4 helps with that as well. So let's say, for now, I feel that's the tool, that's the default marketing tool for marketers. It is quite flexible and it's quite powerful. GA4 uses an event-based model as opposed to Universal Analytics, which use sessions, right? And with GA4, everything is an event. You view a page, it's an event. You add something to a cart, you purchase something, all those are recorded events. Whereas with Universal Analytics, you had page views, you had events, you had e-commerce transactions. So there was quite a lot of, discrepancies, or you kind of had to stitch sessions and interactions quite a lot to kind of get the complete user journey, or the complete picture of how the user is interacting with all your different platforms, be it your website, your app, but GFO kind of helps, put all that together. You can actually have a unified view of how your users are navigating through your various channels and platforms. If you have any more further questions, you can reach us. Our details are on our channel. Let us know. We can assist with setting up your analytics. We can assist with migrations. Just hit us up and we'll assist in whatever way we can. I'm Fungai Chiwarira and I'm the analytics manager for Kayomi Marketing. And stay tuned for more insights and hit the subscribe button. Thank you, guys.